Okay, so welcome back to Wine and Dine Sound Bites, where we have real conversations with real people doing really good things in the local food and drink industry. I'm your host, Mark DeWolf. And in today's edition, I'm lucky enough to have Nick Jennery, Executive Director of Fee Nova Scotia, and Matt Rogers, President of Bishop's Cellar, which is a much-loved local wine retailer and online shop for great craft wine, craft beer, and craft spirits. So, you know, Fee Nova Scotia is near and dear to my own heart. I have I spend a lot of time thinking about food insecurities, and I'm privileged enough every couple Saturdays to go out and deliver food to people that need it. And so this is a really special interview for me because I really believe in this. And, you know, I believe that both of you are doing some really good things in our industry. So as part of that, you know, there's an annual fundraising campaign for Fee Nova Scotia organized by Bishop's Cellar that kind of brings awareness and more importantly, money to Fee Nova Scotia through the purchase of a case of wine. And so really, starting with Nick, I know, you know, this is just one program that you have, but maybe just tell us a little bit about the mission of Fee Nova Scotia.
Sure. Thanks, Mark, and thanks for your volunteer efforts. Really appreciate that. The mission of Fee Nova Scotia is to increase the level of food security in the province. And we do that by doing the three things that we think we do best, and that is food distribution, education, and collaboration. And why is that so important? Well, if you look at the Stats Canada data and think of our province as 1 million people, approximately, 10% of them are either moderately or severely food insecure. So that's 100,000 people. And here's just to bring it up to date, I just checked the numbers. There are 300 people who are joining the ranks of getting support from food banks each and every week. 300 new clients every week.
Well, which isn't surprising. I think we all know today. I think we all, even those of us that are privileged to have, you know, full-time incomes, full-time jobs, but even us, you know the pressures of daily life and the fact that a bag from the grocery stores costs a lot more than it used to. So, you know, talking to Matt, you know, why did this program come to be? What compelled Bishop's Cellar to kind of reach out and say we want to be part of helping Nova Scotians and specifically Fee Nova Scotia?
Yeah. Thanks, Mark. So I mean, Bishop's Cellar, we've always been a community-rooted organization and look to give back to the community that we operate in. So it was actually Fee Nova Scotia that came to us 19 years ago. It was a group of community fundraisers, and that group came with the idea to partner with us as a local wine retailer. And at that time, it was very cellar driven. So it was the group of the community fundraisers. They would reach out to their network and sell those cases. As the campaign has evolved and consumer demands have evolved, you know, as Nick said, you know, what they do best is food distribution. Well, we do wine distribution, and then we do find great wines from all over the world. So we thought we'd put our heads together. We'll take care of the selling and the distribution and the retailing. We have the infrastructure, and then we can raise as much money as possible to let Fee Nova Scotia do the great work that they do in the community.
Which is amazing.
I got to give this guy a hug right now.
Yeah. I would give him a hug just for the great wine they sell. But not, joking aside, though, I mean, you know, Fee Nova Scotia works with a lot of companies and organizations, and so, you know, there must be, or a vetting, or you have to, want to make sure you have the right partner. So when you look at Bishop's Cellar, I mean, now you have 19 years of history to look back on too. But, you know, what makes Bishop's such a good partner for Feed?
Well, it's a really interesting word, and my interpretation of a partner is a very special status with us. It starts with having a common value about how we're going to help community and a belief in what we do. But secondly is, I think a really good partner for us is one who challenges us to be the best that we can and brings creativity to the program or whatever the collaborative work is. And then thirdly, what a partner does is to add their voice to the longer term solution. And that is, as a community, how do we solve this? How do we get on top of it? And I'm very proud of the partnership that we have with Bishop Cellar, because they do all three and they do it extraordinarily well every year. Here's one little tidbit of information. Most programs like this maybe last about 10 years tops. We're now in our 19th year. So that is really testament to the partnership that Matt talked about.
And probably too, and I'm going to let Matt speak, but probably a testimony too to when you're in the business of delivering not only wine, but wine for most of us is an experience, and so. Maybe talk a little bit about, because it's your brand too. You're putting, when you sell, even though you're raising money for charity, you have a responsibility to your clients to make sure you have good products. So tell us about how the products come to be. Are they the same every year, or does it change up depending on the vintage of the year?
Yeah, no. So the wine's changed every year, and we go through the same process that we go with in selecting wine for our everyday customers. We're looking for great value, good packaging. In this case, I push really hard with our team and when we're working with Feed Nova Scotia about the selection process, because we're trying to cast as broad a net as possible. So as you'll see here, very popular varietals from classic regions that are typically the top selling styles of wine. It's great to put new bottles in people's hands and interesting curiosities when we do that every day in our store, but ultimately we have a goal, and that is to raise as much money as possible for Feed Nova Scotia. So to do that, finding a Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand or a Cabernet from California that people are familiar with tend to be where we try to stay with this campaign, because it will expose us to the broadest group of customers.
And probably allows for people that are just know they have friends coming over during the holidays. It makes it real easy to say, okay, we know everybody loves Pinot Grigio and Sauvignon Blanc, so let's have a case on hand and do a good thing. So maybe let's just talk about the specific products that people can buy this year.
Yeah, definitely. So every year we have two different tiers of wines. So we have a $220 case level and a $330 case level. And you can either buy a full case of the individual wine or a mixed case of 6 and 6 in the price tier. So here in our $220 case offering, we have a Pinot Grigio from Italy, from Villa Marchese. This is from the Friuli region. Great producer, your classic, typical Pinot Grigio, crisp, fruity, very easy to drink, perfect for entertaining. Then we move over to Humberto Canali, Black River Malbec. This is your Argentinian Malbec, medium to full-bodied, bright, dark fruit, acidity, good to pair with meats, cheeses, easy-going style of wine. Very popular grape varietal. And then as we move up a level into the $330 tier, we have a Sauvignon Blanc here from Stateland called Mapmaker Sauvignon Blanc. Classic Marlborough, New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. Lemon, crisp, gooseberry, going to go great with any seafood, pasta dishes, great aperitif as well. And then, of course, California Cabernet Sauvignon, Granite Hill. This is from Lodi, so a little bit better value, but all the same, notes that you're going to expect out of a California cab. Goes with your steak. Nice to have, after dinner, sitting by the fire. Perfect. So
probably don't even need the meal if you don't really want to. These are the kind of wines that you can just open and enjoy. So that's great.
And we do have the one thing to note with. Since a lot of folks do like to buy these cases as gifts, we include a pack of 12 neck tags, so you can put a neck tag on and it shares the Feed Nova Scotia message that you're supporting and giving as a gift. So that's a nice feature that we've included along to share the message.
Yeah, so that's Again, that does actually make a great gift idea too. I mean, I think how many of us would love to support local, but the idea of supporting a local business, but then you get to support locals at the same time is a great idea.
And then $50 from every $220 case goes back to Feed Nova Scotia, $75 from the $330 case. So it's been a great success over the 19 years. I think we looked this year, we passed the 1 million meal mark at the end of the campaign last year over the 19 years.
Incredible. Yeah, because maybe Nick, you could explain what, like in terms of meals, what does like $75 equate to?
Well, that's huge. Ours is a business model where a $2 donation is enough for us to deliver 3 meals of food anywhere in Nova Scotia. So if you think about that $50, roughly doing my math, that's about 75 meals if you buy one case at that level. The other one is at $75 that comes to Feed Nova Scotia. So that's about 105 meals that we can do with that $75. And here's the way I think of it, that if you know somebody who's been food insecure or who's hungry, and you give them just one meal, then you have an opportunity to start a conversation. And if you can start a conversation, it can lead to much bigger things. So think about those 105 opportunities with one case, and then multiply that. It's huge. And where we see the benefit of that, just one small example, people often come to Feed Nova Scotia months or even years later, and they said, you know what, the system helped me at a time when I most needed it. And now, you know what, I want to give back. I want to pay it forward. How can I help? Can I volunteer? Can I do a food drive? And so by just that one, buying that case, allowing us to deliver the meals, to have the conversation, helping people get to a better place in many situations, they pay it forward to community. So the return on investment, if you want to look at it from a business standpoint, is really off the charts, apart from helping neighbors helping neighbors.
Yeah, so the multiplier effect applies here too. But yeah, so, you know, speaking of paying it forward, and, you know, obviously this is a great way to get involved and support Feed. I mean, but obviously you got a few other things on the go, I'm sure. I think you're going to be at our SaltWire, our parade, and
this Saturday, yes, absolutely.
And so how can people get involved there? Can they bring food donations? What are we asked?
Well, we sometimes talk internally that what we do is sort of fun with a purpose, and there's lots of things that you can do. If you go on our website, I'm going to check my own memory here. On the front page there will be 5 things that you can do this time of year. So, for instance, you can, you know, the Give 12 program is a really important thing, because we do a lot of things around Christmas time, and then come January and February, it can feel fairly lonely. But there are still people who are hungry. So the Give 12 program allows us to continue that food support throughout the year. Other things, more Christmas, so you can sponsor a turkey. So create that centerpiece on the table for a family to gather around and to share stories and fellowship. Other things that you can do, Hearts for Christmas. This is a program that allows us to give families in need a gift card so that the parents can experience what it's like to buy gifts for their child, and the child on Christmas Day has something under the tree to open up. There's lots of things you can do. I could just say, you know, go on the website and pick something that works for you.
So, okay, so website, what's the URL? What is it? Feed Nova Scotia.
Feed Nova Scotia. Just Google Feed Nova Scotia, okay, and it goes right there.
And then Matt, to you, where can we find the info about buying it?
So we made it quite easy as well. bishopcellar.com/Feed Nova Scotia. All the information is there. You can buy online. We deliver anywhere in Nova Scotia. You can. It'll be delivered to your door. All these cases include free delivery. So that's a perk. Okay. Anywhere's in the province. You can order online to pick up in store. We do 3-hour curbside pickup, so pretty much same day. Or it's available in the store this year. So pretty much any way you'd like to buy, we have it available for you.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I mean, you got great value. You're giving quite a bit back, a lot back to the Feed Nova Scotia. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer that when you're holiday entertaining to get a case to support Feed Nova Scotia. So I would like to just take the time to thank Nick Jennery, Matt Rogers for being here and doing such great things for our community. So thank you guys.
Thanks for having us, Mark.
Thanks a lot, Mark. Appreciate it.